We have to begin to understand that the system that we have embraced, the ideology we've embraced, is not morally neutral. It's one that absolutely is devoid of any kind of human compassion. And you can't build or sustain a community unless at a certain point you realize that it's not always about you, that it's also about the other, and especially about the weak. I mean, I covered wars for 20 years, and every great unit, whether, I was with the Marines in the first Gulf War or the FMLN in El Salvador, they never left their wounded or their dead on the battlefield, ever. And I saw them go back and collect bodies under great risk and sometimes engendering more wounded among the unit. Now, in a capitalist system, what's a dead body worth? Nothing. As a commodity, it's not worth anything. And yet those units were always the most effective, most cohesive units because they knew that when one of them went down, they would all take care of each other. And I think that kind of an ethic we've lost.
I guess we'll find out what happens. That, if there is any credibility to any sort of prophecy that love might win out, it's going to be on communities to figure that out.
Well, everybody should pick up Vasily Grossman's Life and Fate, the great work of 20th century Russian literature. And he writes about the twin evils of fascism and communism. And he said that humankind's meaning is blind, dumb kindness. And that no matter how powerful these systems become, and they can become very powerful, they've proven throughout human history the incapacity to crush that human kindness. And the more blind and the more dumb it is, the more subversive it becomes. And sometimes in times of despair, it's a mistake to put our hope into systems. And I think Grossman got it, having been a victim first of fascism. His mother was killed by the Nazis, and then finally of Stalinism himself. That doesn't mean that we as distinct individuals survive necessarily, but that has a way of affirming what we know must be affirmed. And I think ultimately these systems of hate, systems of death, which is what they are, unfettered capitalism is a system of death, consume themselves. They destroy themselves by their own hatred. And that's where you cross the line into faith. I mean, that's what faith is. It is not a utopian belief that we can make things better, but it is a belief that this force of love and compassion exists, and that it's something that is worth our fealty and loyalty to, with the final belief that love finally does triumph.